Your next patient is here, sir.
Send them in. So, what's bringing you here today?
Doctor, I just got off this relationship.
I see.
I don't even know who I am.
I see. Tell me, have you been watching my videos lately?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you didn't watch. All joke aside, I get it. Sometimes after toxic relationship, you feel lost. But I've been there too. And today I'm going to share how you can reclaim your self-love and how I did it, and teach you how you can do it too and how you can find yourself again. Now, if you already know my story, then you know I've been through a toxic relationship. And if you didn't know, yeah, well, now you do. It's one of those experiences that mess with your mind. A toxic relationship doesn't just affect your feelings, it destroy your empathy, crush your confidence, and leaves you with the trauma that can take years to heal. I was there too, you know. I was vengeful, angry all the time, isolated, and honestly, I lost. I was lost. I had no sense of purpose, and it was like my entire world collapsed, and I had no idea how to rebuild it. You have to understand that the first step to healing is actually to finding yourself again. That's where self-love comes in. But before you can truly love yourself, you have to realize that what is really going on. You need to acknowledge that you idolize your partner, made them out to be something that they weren't. But here's the kicker. Going to therapy alone isn't enough. You have to educate yourself. You have to challenge your belief about life and the people. This means realize that you played a part of it. And it's crucial to stop victimizing yourself. Now, let me tell you something I've seen a lot of coaches and even some doctors are getting wrong. There is this idea out there that people who ended up in toxic relationships are super empaths. I don't buy that. In fact, I think it's completely wrong. Here's why. If you find yourself in one bad relationship after another, it's not because you're a super empath or anything nonsense like that. It's because of trauma, especially childhood trauma. You may have grown up in an environment where unhealthy behaviors are normalized, and the way the people treat you as a child made you more likely to fall into these patterns again and after again. It's a hard truth, but understanding this is the key to breaking free. You have to look deeper into your past and realize the patterns that brought you here. Only then you can begin the work of true healing, growing and reclaiming your life. So after you realize what has happened, the biggest step, and honestly the hardest, is to acceptance. You have to accept that you have been changed. You are not the same person you were before the relationship. Maybe you are bitter, angry, or even vengeful. I know because I was. You know, therapy at its core is like a holding up a psychological mirror. They don't fix you overnight. What they actually do is show you who you have become, show you your wounds and the scars you have been carrying. And trust me, it's not a pleasant sight. And it's painful to see yourself in a raw, unfiltered way, you know. But once you accept it, once you look at the mirror and say, yes, that is who I am right now, it's become a powerful step forward because you cannot change what you don't acknowledge. Once you accept it, once you look at the mirror and say, yes, that is who I am right now, it becomes a powerful step forward because you cannot change what you don't acknowledge. Acceptance doesn't mean you're okay with what happened or that was justified, but it's a beginning of transforming that pain into something meaningful. Once you are aware of who you have become, you can begin the real work of healing, growing, and ultimately reclaiming your power. I remember when I was in a university, we had a course called History of Philosophy. I was studying Greek philosophers, and that's when I was stumbled upon the philosophy of Stoicism. It really struck a chord with me. I learned about Zeno of Citium, Seneca, and Epictetus, and all the great minds who taught that we cannot control everything around us, only how we respond to it. The core ideas in the Stoicism is a naturalism, the belief that we cannot change the nature of things or control everything we face. We have to accept what is beyond our control. You know, I'm sharing this because I don't want you to buy into this idea that you can completely change who you are, like some people and influences sell. You know, the ones that say you can transform yourself into someone powerful and unstoppable. No, I don't believe in that extreme, and I'm not here to sell that. You know, what am I saying is you need to be realistic about the fact that you can change. Yes, but not in the way that turns you into someone else entirely. You can evolve, but the evolution starts with the loving the person you see in the mirror, the imperfections, the weaknesses, and all. It might sound a little crazy, but I'm saying it anyway. You have to love even the parts of yourself that seem broken, the beast in the mirror, if you will. And I don't mean being a bad person or giving it into negativity. What I mean is looking at yourself in the mirror and see all your flaws, all your scars, and saying this is me, and I accepting that. Now let's talk about something that played a huge role in my healing. Understanding what Carl Jung calls the shadow. Jung was a Swiss psychiatrist who believed that each of us has a shadow side, the parts of ourselves that we don't want to acknowledge, the parts we suppress because we are ashamed or uncomfortable with it. No, the shadow includes everything we try to hide, our fears, insecurities, even anger and resentment. But here's the thing, ignoring it doesn't make it go away. In fact, the more we deny the parts of ourselves, the more they control us from behind the scenes. For me, understanding my shadow was eye-opening. You know, I realized that a lot of my reactions, anger, bitterness, and even my tendency to isolate myself is coming from the wounds that I had buried deep. These wounds didn't just come from my toxic relationship, but also from earlier experience that shaped how I viewed myself and others. Acknowledge my shadow allowed me to see the parts of myself that I've been running from. And once I did, and I stopped blaming myself for everything and began to understand where my behavior and feelings really coming from, that's when I start to regain a control over my life. The more you know your shadow, the more power you have to change the things that are holding you back. So, how do you begin to uncover your shadow? Let's talk about some techniques that help me. You know, one of the most powerful techniques that helped me uncover my shadow and ultimately heal was meditation. Especially, you have heard of it, of course, Transcendental Meditation. It's a technique that's all about going beyond the surface thoughts and tapping into deeper state of awareness. You know, Transcendental Meditation, or in a short, TM, is a different form of regular meditation. It's a practice where you silently repeat a mantra, a word or a sound, and through that repetition, your mind settles down into the state of a restful awareness. It's almost like diving beneath the waves of a stormy sea. While everything is chaotic on the surface, the down below is calm and still. For me, TM helped me to look at my day-to-day stress and really start to see the deeper layers of myself. It gave me that mental space to observe my thoughts and emotions without judgment. That's when I start to notice the patterns. Anger that wasn't just from the recent events, but that roots in my childhood. Fear I wasn't even aware. Insecurities I had buried. TM helped me to meet my shadow, to see those parts of myself that I've been hide or avoiding them. And once I could see them clearly, I began to understand how those hidden parts were driving my reactions, especially in a toxic relationship. Meditation, whether it's TM or another form, it's an amazing tool because it helps you to create a space between your thoughts and your awareness. It's that a space where you can observe the patterns you have built, the wounds you carry, and the truths you have been avoiding. It's not about fixing everything immediately. It's about understanding yourself first, and once you have that, you understand yourself, you can start to make a real change in your life. So rather than just talk about the Transcendental Meditation, let me guide you through a simple practice right now so you can experience it yourself. This practice is simple, but very effective if it's done regularly. So first, find a comfortable position, either sitting in a chair with your feet flat on the ground or cross-legged on the floor. Close your eyes and relax your body. Let go of any tension in your shoulders, neck, and face. Now, take a deep breath in. In the TM, we repeat a mantra slightly in the mind to help guide our focus inward. You might have heard of using Om, but you can choose any word or any sound that feels calming and personal to you. The important parts is that it's simple and easy to repeat. For this demonstration, I will use Om, but you feel free to choose any mantra that resonates with you. And it could even be a word like a peace, calm, or anything that helps you center yourself. Start repeating a chosen mantra in your mind. You don't need to say it out loud, just hear the sound within your mind. For me, it's a Om, like. Let me show you. Om. Let it flow naturally with your breath. No effort, no force, just let it be gentle and easy. As you repeat the mantra, thoughts will come and go. That's perfectly normal. The goal isn't to stop thinking, but to let the thoughts pass without grabbing onto them. Just gently bring your attention back to the mantra, like Om. Let the repetition guide your mind deeper into the state of calm. Over a time, with the practice, you will notice that this repetition creates a space in your mind, a space where you can observe your thoughts and emotion without being caught up in them. This is where your shadow starts to reveal itself. Not as something to fear, but something to understand. To really see the benefits, it's important to practice TM every day. It works over the long run. So if you're consistent, you begin to notice a deeper awareness, more emotional control, and clearer sense of a self. If you miss just one day, it can disrupt the progression you have made. So start slowly, maybe just 20 to 30 minutes a day, and gradually increase the time as you get more comfortable. Consistency is the key. It's not about perfecting the practice. It's all about showing up for yourself every day. Remember, meditation is a journey. It's not about the quick fix, but building a long-term habits that allow you to understand yourself more deeply. Over time, you will be amazed at how much clarity and calm this practice can bring into your life. There is a powerful quote from Jung that says, "In each of us, there is another whom we don't know." This is the shadow self. It's a hidden parts of you that carries the emotion, desire, and the part of your personality that you either suppressed or denied. But just because you're unaware of it doesn't mean it's powerless. It's quite the opposite. Your shadow is incredibly powerful. It influences your thoughts, emotions, and the behavior in the ways you don't even realize. The anger, the bitterness, or insecurities you feel. A lot of it is come from unacknowledged parts of yourself. The shadow isn't inherently bad, but if left unchecked, it can control from the background, driving your actions in a way that keep you stuck, whether it's in toxic relationships, negative habits, or feeling of helplessness. Practice like a TM, you create a space between your awareness and your automatic thoughts. It's the space where you can begin to observe your shadow. Meditation lets you look at those buried emotions and the patterns without judgment. You start to see your anger, your fears, your unresolved pain, everything you hidden away. But here's the beauty of it. Once you see your shadow, you can begin to work with it. You can use that awareness to transform those darker aspects of yourself into something powerful and productive. This brings me to the concept in the psychology called sublimation. It's a process of taking those raw, intense emotions like anger, frustration, or even a pain, and channeling to them into something positive or productive. Instead of letting your shadow consume you, sublimation allows you to transform that energy into something creative, constructive, and empowering. I'm going to make a separate video diving deeper into the concept of sublimation. Personally, this idea of working with my shadow, of seeing my anger and pain for what they were and sublimating them into something more, was a turning point in my life. Instead of letting those feelings control me or hold me back, I start use that energy to fuel my growth. I channeled them into my passion, my goals, and even the journey of self-discovery. So when you do the inner work of exploring your shadow, whether it's through meditation, journaling, or even a therapy, you're not just fixing yourself. You're unlocking the hidden parts of yourself that, when understood and integrated, can become your greatest source of strength. There are thousands of ways to find the self-love and so many different practices you can explore. But today I've only shared few techniques with you because I don't want this video to go on for too long. I'll be making more videos in the future about self-love, diving deeper into the different methods and concepts. Everything I've shared with you today has worked for me on my journey, and I truly hope it will work for you too. So if this video resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need it to hear this. And if you're on your own self-love journey, feel free to drop a comment below, and I'd love to hear your thoughts or any question you have. And as always, remember, awareness is the first step towards transformation.